They do it first. If you have cash, you can buy it. But all that other stuff is free.
All the other stuff we paid for.
Get some chairs. We got one here. All you need is I was coming here to have something to eat. There's going to be food. Am I supposed to say something or do something? No. Is the bartender here from in-laws? You don't want this?
Yeah, it's in her car, but unfortunately we took my car. It's a Long Island. That's the whole island.
I saw your mom. That's what I didn't remember. How are you? Oh, my God. Wait a minute. Let me see if I can find a spot that's dark to stand in. I want to be like all my actors.
Testing 1, 2.
At the edge, it's on. Cool.
Okay, can you all hear me? Okay, this gift, down here. Pay attention here. This gift is from all Viking drama students and parents, past and present. Thank you for making a difference in the lives of countless drama students and their families. Thanks for teaching our kids the invaluable life skills and lessons they have learned through drama. They are skills they will carry with them and use every day of their lives. We wish you the best in your retirement, and thank you for the countless hours spent building the foundation called Viking Drama. It is our hope to be able to carry on the traditions you have established and keep the bar held high. Your dedication has not gone unnoticed and will forever be a part of Viking School. Thanks for everything. We will miss you.
Watch out, break it before I get
Don't break it.
Be careful with it.
Golf clubs don't fit in a box like this.
Jim, yours too.
You guys haven't changed one single bit. I thought this was for alumni. Wait a second. I have a Leatherman
my pocket. Hold on.
Sorry, Jim, we've got all night.
It's a good thing, because I'm now going to wrap this back up. Again. How many times do you get to do this in your life? I'm going to take advantage of each and every... That's what I think. This is very, very nice, except that I'm moving out of the only space in my life where my wife will allow me to hang a picture. Just kidding. Oh, am I supposed to say something else? No. I probably don't need a microphone, but I do want to say, first of all, that I'm very touched. Certainly any time that your life has been based on what you can do for young people, and to have this sign of their affection is very humbling. I just want you to all know that I'm very humbled by your attention, and I can't really say how much I care about each one of you, because I think you all know. I've certainly yelled at you enough times. So the abuse is over. They're all laughing. Thank you very much. But the purposes of trying to establish a program that you think are worthwhile and that will do something for kids is not easy. 30 years is it's a very bittersweet moment here at the ending of an era here at Viking School. But I just want you to know that it's not without joy, and it's not without pain. But just like all of our shows, they come from joy, and there's pain. And the end results, I hope all of you, each and every one of you, know what part you have on this right here, and how close you are to my heart, because you are truly the better part of me. And I love you all dearly. Thank you very much.
And now we need the other half of the Neil duo.
Oh, yeah, good luck.
Also known as Mrs.
I'll bet you $1 she didn't know about this.
We're not going to embarrass you. Brady told us that your birthday's in April, and that in the 30 years that Mr. Neil has been directing plays, that you have never had a birthday party or a celebration, thanks to Viking Drama. So we are going to give you a birthday celebration and a birthday present from all of us, and thank you for sharing your husband with us and allowing Viking Drama to have 30 years of success.
Aww.
sit down?
Yeah.
Be here, your own seat.
Yeah, sit in front.
Okay, now what we're going to do is turn it over to anybody in the room that wants to share something, a memory,
Oh, it's just like
anything.
a funeral. I like it. Oh, great. The problem is I'm not dead, so they can still say snotty stuff. Wait a minute, Jason.
I'll start. Yeah.
Nicole Watley has got to leave.
Oh, Nicole, do you want to start
Yeah,
for
I
us?
think she should.
Nicole,
Oh,
I'm sorry. Hello, everyone.
Hi.
I just had a couple things to say to Neil and everyone out here. Back when I was in 8th grade, I was asked the question of who really inspired me or who do I look up to as a role model. The answer to that question was Mr. Neil. He has taught me and many others the values of true friendship and dedication. Mr. Neil tried to teach everyone every aspect of putting on a production, including building the set, stage directions, many crew positions, and acting techniques. He has taught me not only to work as an individual, but as a team. I am sure everyone here is familiar with the phrase, many hands make light work. That is definitely a lifelong lesson that everyone should apply to his or her own life. There are no words that can express my gratitude toward this amazing man, and there are no words that can truly describe him. To this very day, I can remember opening night from Schoolhouse Rock as if it were yesterday. I was so nervous, but when I stood on the stage, I got this amazing rush that was addictive. I could feel the energy all around me. I did not just learn about the art we all know of as drama, but many lifelong lessons and many lifelong friendships. Now his true Viking drama is ending. It will live forever in the hearts of all these people around. Viking drama will never be the same without you, and you will truly be missed. Thank you, Mr. Neil, for touching my life and for reaching out to every audience member and creating a story. Thank you.
Okay. I wrote you a poem, Miss Neil.
Would you do it in the style of Steve?
Yeah.
Good.
Maybe. All right. This poem is entitled Jim Neal. Coffee breath detected a mile away. Jim Neal. Show tunes blaring from the cafeteria. Jim Neal. A voice that brings one either peace or tears. Jim Neal. Salt and pepper hair, crooked teeth, and wrinkles around the eyes that tell a story. Jim Neal. Telling things to middle schoolers that you don't even begin to understand until you're in your 20s, and not even then is a guarantee that you get it. Jim Neal. Many hands make light work. Jim Neal. Tie-dye shirts, suspenders, and tuxedos, the dress-up guy. Sawdusted, paint-stained, and forehead bruised, the skilled craftsman. Flying lost boys, melting witches, and ducks to swans, the theater artist. Jim Neal, the child, the prophet, the loner, the lover, the visionary, the voice in the wilderness, the wise sage, the crazy fool, the counselor, the friend, and the dream maker, the rare, the precious, the honorable, and noble Jim Neal. Never have I known one more passionate, more true, or more dedicated to excellence. Never have I known one more who lived what he preached, a gospel of sharing, inclusion, beauty, and self-sacrifice. Never have I known one who dared to make a difference more than he and wore his heart on his sleeve while he did it. He built a program of theater empowering adolescents that is celebrated as truly one of its kind and is a miracle in and of itself. Whether pursuing the highest quality and well-rounded education for children, or making sure old trees aren't cut down from his neighborhood. Never have I known one who was more committed to character, making the earth better after his passing through, and railing against the dying of the light than he. With a laugh so much like a free and happy child, with thoughts that are so simple and profound, and with a view of life that is challenging and terrifying in its splendor, loveliness, and magnificence. And with a heart that is truly overflowing with love, this man has truly been our humble servant, and he must be recognized and respected as such. Not as a retiring teacher. No, don't let the title fool you. There is much more sitting here before you today. There is a man who in one way or another heard his calling and followed and has touched and changed the lives of countless human beings, who has shaped in those around him a lifelong sense of working towards togetherness and goodness. Here is a humble servant as he signs all his programs. And after knowing him for nearly a decade, first as a student, then as a colleague, and now at long last as a friend, I can say that there is no truer statement than that of him. A life rich with mistakes and glories, times of brokenness and gladness, simply put, but not so simply lived, a life of service to others, a life of love. A man who does his best teaching over dinner and a beer. Thank you, Jim Hill. And now, Doug Schultz will come up and say something.
Never follow a child act. I never. I was. What's the matter? It's in your head, don't worry. I've known Jim for 27 years. And those of us who know Jim know how passionate he is about what he does. But some of you may not know how passionate Jim is about when he's out having a good time. You see, because most of the wild things I've done in my life, I've done with Jim. And most of the really hysterical times that I have laughed to the point where I've almost been sick, I've been. So that's what it means to have Jim as a friend, whether it's canoeing in Canada in the middle of the night with a makeshift mast and a lantern fishing with bats flying overhead, or the times we drove golf carts where golf carts were not supposed to go, riding a roller coaster with a wild golf ball in a story that no one believes to this day. Honest to God, true. I know, Jim. Or Mike Bandman sleeping in the closet, and that is a completely different story. However, it is truly, although it's been a privilege to be a colleague of Jim, I can't tell you what it's meant to me to be his friend for 27 years. And I'm looking forward to, I hope, another 27. Congratulations, Jim.
Marilyn Walters.
I was told I had 3 minutes. And I was also told this was a do you remember? So, Mr. Neal, Jim, do you remember?
No.
You probably don't, because I had difficulty with this too. I had to ask a couple of students this evening. The night of the dress rehearsal, it was either Annie or Charlie Brown, where break a leg took new meaning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, which was it?
It
guys?
was, I think it was Annie.
It was Annie. After dress rehearsal, I dropped the synthesizer on my foot.
Yeah.
He had no clue, absolutely no clue. The parent took me to Condell Hospital where I stayed until 3 a.m. Rich met me there, my husband, and got me home, and I showed up for the very first performance on crutches. And he saw me walk in and had no clue what had happened. But that's because he's so involved with the kids. You know. And one other thing, he approached me one afternoon, a couple of weeks before opening night, and said he needed me to put a collage of music together from Broadway shows. And I said, for what? He said, well, I'd like to have the kids sing that after every performance. And I said, well, I'll see what I can do. And then I thought, we don't need to borrow from others. We'll do an original. So we had an in-service at the Spalding School. This was on a Friday. He asked me on a Thursday. And not very many people know this, but that afternoon, at a table in the library of Spalding School, I sat down during this in-service, and on a table napkin wrote the greatest feeling in the world. I showed it to him on Monday, and I said, this is what we're going to do. And since 1991, these kids have really made me proud. I wrote it for you, Jim. I know you have one on your wall. Thanks for being a friend for 20 musicals. I thought it was 19, but the mind goes. And besides that, I am older than you. I'm only by this much. Congratulations on your retirement. Love you lots.
And in service where something was accomplished. What a blessing. I didn't know they were. I never thought it was a second day. Okay. Let it go.
Okay, now it's pretty much open to anyone. There's a couple people that have already told us that they wanted to say something, so if you've got something ready to go, or any memory or anything that you'd like to share, you can come on up. Right now would be nice to do that.
It is just like a funeral.
The memory that keeps coming up when I was thinking about this retirement party was when I made the decision, when I committed to doing all the costuming for Schoolhouse Rock. My memory from doing that was sitting on the floor in the gym at Gurney Grade School with this little airbrush that Jim had that was ancient. We had to keep unclogging the nozzle and spray painting all those tennis shoes. Because I couldn't find bright yellow, bright green, bright red, and royal blue tennis shoes. So my husband and I, Dan, went out to Famous Footwear and bought, I don't know, 35, 40 pairs of shoes in all different sizes. And I remember walking out of Gurney Mills with these huge stacks of shoes all taped together, thinking, we look like something from a Three Stooges episode. And then the other part that I remember was dyeing all the tights in the washing machine at home. And having to rinse it out 2 or 3 times afterwards because I didn't want my laundry to be one of the 4 primary colors. And so I remember sitting on the floor, spraying the shoes, and Jim and my son Adam hanging lights, and it was about 8 o'clock, and Jim had been there since in the morning and had me eating dinner. So we went and sat on the stage and took a break, and our dinner was Doritos from the vending machine and cans of pop that Jim had in the fridge. And that's just what keeps coming back when I remember Viking drama. And it was so much work, but it was so much joy at the same time. And Jim, thank you for giving me that experience and allowing me to be a part of something that was bigger than me, and it meant a lot to me. So thank you.
Those shoes were in Hog, by the way. Same shoes? Same shoes.
I remember wearing those tights. Ooh. What an experience. Oh, yeah. That's pure passion right there. It's great. One thing, I've got I kind of get backlogged when I think back to drama because there's so much going on. There's so much that I was involved in. And so one memory that kind of sticks out that just kind of came to me was we're in Sight Unseen, and Sight Unseen had many unseen difficulties that that came on the front once the show started going. And I can't remember how many shows we did, but there seemed to be one thing, at least each show. I remember in a fit of trying to be acting and whatnot, I walked up the stairs, and my character had a nightcap, and I took the bottle with me this time, and I'm wearing this nice white tux that we rented from whatever that place is called, Mater's? Genghis. Close. And I walk upstairs, and I have this bottle of red-colored water, and I'm like, well, my character at this point would tip it back because he's really depressed because he just got shot down by this girl that he kind of likes. And so I do that, and I'm like, great acting, but as I step off stage, it goes up on my white suit. And so we have this stained pink white top that we have to get dry cleaned, and then that was just terrible. But one of my fondest memories is I'm playing The Leading Man by Laura Barak, who's the leading lady, and there's this passionate scene, I think in the third act or something, where we come down, and Graham knows because he's the same character. We come down and we're like, oh, Judith, and we have this kissing scene. And kissing scenes in middle school consisted of standing opposite 3 feet away from the person that you're kissing. But it was great. I'm sure it looked real. I always thought it looked real, even though I never saw it. And so I go, and I'm like, oh, Judith. And I go, and I have to cross around her. I go, and I slip. And I'm really self-conscious about it. I'm like, and everybody laughs. I'm like, just kiss the girl. You go on with the show. The show must go on. So anyway, people ask me afterwards, was that planned? And I'm like, oh, no, that's an accident. Mr. Neal comes up and he looks much the same as he did right now. And I told him, when I told him about this, he said, what do you mean it was an accident? That was exactly the way it was supposed to happen. That's how you do it. And so I remember in Schoolhouse Rocks later that season, something happened, and someone asked me after the show, well, do you mean to do that? And I was like, oh, yes. Because one of the most valuable lessons I learned from Jim Neal is that if you cannot dazzle them with brilliance, then baffle them, pardon the French, with bullshit. Thank you, Mr. Neal. I think he taught a lot of us that, so... Joey? Are you coming down? That's what we're doing right now.
Well, I have a couple little ones I just want to share with everyone. It's been a couple years since I've been in Mr. Neal's last play, and first of all, let me tell you, he doesn't have to yell to scare you. He can pretty much stare at you and scare the crap out of you. Another thing that I remember is, I remember Jamie used to play to get us all into character, well, not really into character, but to, help himself, was concentration. And if you laughed, you're out. And I was always the one who usually got out first, because, yeah. And we were all standing in line, and it was usually not because of his expressions, because of the breath. No, it doesn't work. No, I understand. And I wasn't usually laughing, I was usually fainting because... No, but hey, that's what I remember you most by the way. But, most of the times when I'd be working on tech and stuff, he always did the infamous take off the glasses and stare at you to scare you. He'd be like, do you know your lines, Joey? No, Mr. Neal. Or, is this done, Mr. Neal? Does it look done? So that, and then the last thing I want to say is, the one that really makes me laugh the most is back in Godspell, I was at a problem with turning my back to the audience. And he is really, really strict about that kind of stuff. So, you know, here's me talking like this, and he tells me once, he's like, Joey, please don't turn your back to the audience. Okay, sorry, Mr. Neal. 5 seconds later, so anyway, I turn back around. He doesn't say anything. He does a stare. He writes something down on a piece of paper, comes up to me, slaps my back, and it turns out it was a kick me sign on my back. So it made me not want to, and I got laughed at. It was pretty embarrassing. It was probably one of the funniest memories I can remember. And, but all in all, it was, other than the funny stuff, it was a great experience to be with Mr. Neal. Other than being scared all the time, I come home crying every night because I. Anyway, I just wanted to say thanks for always, giving me constructive criticism, although I always was scared. It really meant a lot to me, and good luck on whatever you decide to do next, and I really appreciate it. Oh, yeah, me and you, man, whatever you want. Again, thank you for everything, and good luck whatever you do. Thanks, bud.
Mr. Calhoun?
My name's Noel Calhoun, and I'm just a dad. Oh, thank God. But we can talk later. I have 2 beautiful daughters here, and I think the most important thing in my life is to somehow enable their nurture into people who aren't going somewhere so much as people who are someone. And I've attended probably about 6 plays. I don't know how many, but then I don't know the first thing about acting and choreographing, so on, but I do know something about character development. And there has been nothing more profoundly impacting in their lives than their participation in Viking drama. Yep. And I am eternally grateful to you for that. Yes.
Well, first of all, don't worry, I'm not Joseph. Yet. No, I'm kidding. Really. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to thank you because looking back on some of the stuff I did to make people laugh, it was a lot of toilet humor, and I want to thank you for putting up with that, first of all, and trying to break me of that habit, but old habits die hard. Secondly, I just can't express how much you have been a part of my life and how much you're still with me today, and no crying. But I just want to share the one most important memory I've had, and that was during Godspell, and well, it gave new meaning for me for the words, many hands make light work. Well, I remember one show, right after Light of the World was done, trying to climb into a lift and, well, throwing my back out. And since then, I wasn't allowed to touch anything at all. The cast got a very long lecture about helping people move things, and mostly, don't let Megan touch anything. So I want to thank you for teaching me that many hands make light work, but mostly, if you hurt yourself, you don't got to do anything at all. I mean, wow. Yeah, and my leg is twitching, but that's okay. All right, good. I don't know what's going Yeah, thank you. I just finished my last play at Lauren. Unfortunately, it's happily, yay, good things. But although it was a very sad time, you being there made it all the more special, and you just being in my life made it all the more worth living. Thanks so much.
Now, I couldn't let all of you students talk about my father without me actually saying something, so here goes. It's so wonderful to see all of you here. You don't understand. I was young, and I used to look up to all of you. I was like, oh, look at my students, you know, wow. And I kept getting older, and you all stayed the same age. And it was like, eighth grade. And then I was like, suddenly, I was a senior in high school, and you guys were all still in eighth grade. And these shows were always so amazing, and what he was able to get out of you, and what he was able to make you do, it was absolutely phenomenal. Oh, excuse me, I'm a little nervous. It was phenomenal. So I can't even say anything about it. I always want to be part of it, even in the end, even at this last show, you know, when they said alumni stand, me and my sisters all stood up. And sung songs. And believe me, we know those words. We know them very well. But I don't want to forget to say anything here because this is a really important moment for him, and it's been such an important moment for me. And it's amazing because my sisters, you know, you look at them and you think they're the only ones that understand me, but wow, I'm in a room full of everyone that understands me. I had no idea. The many hands make light work. I thought that was just in the family. My God. You only had girls, you had no boys. So we worked just as hard as anybody else would. And it's just amazing to see how many lives that he's touched. And every day I feel like I'm not doing something that's fulfilling enough, and I only hope that someday I'm in a room full of this many people that care about me and this many lives that I've touched, because if I could go out like that, I would feel very fulfilled. I love you very, very much, and I feel so lucky to have you as my father, and just looking at all these people, I'm still so amazed. So thank you so much, and thank all of you for being here, for doing this for him. Thank you.
Steven. Yep, it's upside down.
Jerry's brother.
I have two big memories. One was probably in Bye Bye Birdie, a bunch of us got in the dressing room. We probably got to see Mr. Neal at his maddest. Somehow Mark Clemens got pushed down in the hallway and was just his underwear. So Mr. Neal kind of came in and started yelling at us, but not all of us were in there. So as he's yelling, we hear a great big knock at the door, and not to mention any names, but John Bogan just yelled, "Gestapo." So we all start laughing. Mr. Neal gets pissed and just chucks the stool against the wall and storms out. So for the night, we tried to do our best because we didn't want to get yelled at anymore. But that's just one of that stuck out in my mind because I knew not to mess with it. And then to continue on many hands made life work, probably the main example I remember was in Bye Bye Birdie. One of the great big platforms, a wheel broke. So we got like everybody just to push one side off the stage in order to fix this one little wheel. So we had everybody working on it as hard as they could to fix that, and that's what stuck out most in my mind, and that taught me as much as possible about teamwork. I just want to say I love you and thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Nikki.
Watch out for this one.
Huh? Sing? I wouldn't know what to sing. Oh gosh, so many memories of just such happy times. I think that I was the happiest in Viking. In theater. Theater was my life, and I guess I was never really afraid of Mr. Neal. I always thought of him as more of my protector. I remember one time, one kid was like making fun of me or something, and after practice one day I was crying, and he stopped me and he said, "Nikki, what's wrong?" sat down with me and I talked to him about it, and he went and he talked to the kid, and it stopped immediately, so obviously that kid was afraid of him. Just everything. I mean, with the sets and, I mean, all of his work, this man, like, never sleeps. He never sleeps. I don't remember him. I mean, I remember constantly him saying, oh, yeah, well, I woke up really early this morning to go and finish something. And I just remember that all of our blood and our sweat and our tears were put into that set because we had to work on it. It was a part of a contract that we had to sign. And it was so amazing. And I don't think I've ever felt the same teamwork that I have felt at Viking. And I just pray that someday I will get to. And one more thing, Mr. Neal, just thank you for your constant support and your love of what you do, because whenever I went onto that stage and I sang or I acted, you were in there. And I just thought of you and I thought, do this for everyone and do this for Mr. Neal. So I'll get that smile, so I'll get that hug. And I thank you for that, and I thank you for engendering in me a great spirit for theater. And I thank God for you and for your help and your encouragement. That's all.
Ashley Rodbro.
Yes?
Say your name.
Ashley Rodbro. Originally, I wasn't going to speak because I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I mean, I think I lived at Viking for 3 years, and I couldn't pinpoint one thing to talk about. But as everybody comes up here, I started remembering all sorts of stuff that I'd forgotten about, and I started seeing faces of people that I haven't talked to since I graduated from 8th grade. And so I just want to talk about one memory in 1940's Radio Hour on closing night. It was not my performance, so I was done at the matinee. So I was going to help with the snow, me and Laura Calhoun. We were going to go and help with the snow. I fell asleep about 5 minutes before the show started because I had a fever of 102. So then Mr. Neal came up, he was like, oh, you're not feeling well, go to the dressing room, take a nap, it's okay, and we'll wake you up later. And I was like, okay. So I fell asleep down there. About 10 minutes after I fell asleep, he came down, woke me up, and told me I had to go on stage because my double cast was making up his line. I didn't know how that happened. It turned out he had the fever too. So he had to go off the stage, and I had to go perform. I don't know why I had to go, but I did. So I'm there, and I'm having this fever, and I'm dizzy, and I'm tired, and it's closing night, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. I don't even have my contacts in. So I go out on stage. And I'm talking, and I'm saying lines, and I just keep going off stage in between, because in 1940s Radio Hour, there's songs in between everything. So I'm talking, and then I'm leaving. And I'm coming back, and I'm talking, and then I'm leaving. And I was so sick that I didn't even go to the cast party. But something about that just really stuck out in my mind, because it didn't matter that we both had fevers. I was the one who went out there because he trusted me. And it didn't matter that I might have messed up everything as well, but he trusted me with that. So I'd just like to thank you for the trust you put in me and everybody else, and for the friendships of the people that are sitting all around here, and for your faith in people that sometimes don't deserve it, because after you give them your faith and your trust, they start to deserve it more. So I'd just like to thank you for 3 years of great memories, and for your wisdom and for your passion. Thank you.
Graham G.
I have 2 older sisters, terrifically talented older sisters, and I thought that they were going to be pretty hard acts to follow, but you made me feel like I was the only Jeep to ever pass through. Not to take anything away from them, but I didn't feel like I was someone else's sibling, which happens sometimes, but thankfully it didn't happen there. The only cute anecdotal story that I could come up with was about my 8th grade year when we were at Gurney Grade for a year. And Mr. Neal went through somewhat of a phase where when someone would say something, he would, the only way to explain this is to like use an example. If I were to say, that shirt is red, Mr. Neal would say, I'll red you. Usually it didn't make any sense. It's just this little like joke that was funny.
I still say it today, so.
Well, you went crazy with it. So that phase came to an end one day when we were working on the set to Sight Unseen or something or other. And some little 6th grade girl was working on a platform or something, and you had a little box of screws by you working on something. And she yelled from across the room, hey, Mr. Neal, I need the screws. That little phase, we learned the danger of that little. When we think about the memories of the Viking drama program, I think the students automatically start thinking of the shows. And like when we went into combat on stage and it was all big blur and it was just great. But somebody said something about the concentration game, and that made me think that, I mean, by far, the coolest thing about Viking theater was the family time, the circles, the countless hours that we spent separating apart from any script that we were working on. You know, it was and I think every student will agree with me, and a lot of parents here have no idea what I'm talking about because you were never a part of it, which is great. Because it makes students feel a certain level of camaraderie. I feel a level of camaraderie to my sister, and I was obviously not in school with her at all. And it just makes me feel like I'm a part of a huge, huge family. And it was very special, and you gave kids what you never had as a child, which I think is what you were going for, and you succeeded at it terrifically. That's all I have to say.
Graham, cute would not be the word I'd use to describe that story. So just keep that in mind if you're telling again. All right, Megan McCarthy is next.
Okay, hi, Mr. Neal. I just have 2 things to say. One was, I think we were in Andy Warbucks, I don't know, I'm not sure. You decided to give out coffee for Lent, and that was like, bad. It was like, it was a hard show, and it was a really fun show, but does anyone else remember that? Yeah. And it was really, then you started towards the end, like technique, you were like sucking on, the beans. You said that didn't count. But that was fun. Okay, then my second one is, I think, well, in 6th grade when I decided to try out for Once in a Silent, I had no idea what theater was, and I didn't know what I was doing, and I was so scared, and then I was cast, and I feel like my life just kind of went from there, and I think it was 6th grade or 7th grade, it was during spring break when you can go in and work on the set, and we were the only two there, a couple people, but we ended up working on the set, and we were laying on our backs on the stage, and you were telling me the story about how you came to love theater, and I really felt like at that moment that I knew that that's what I wanted to do, and it's so amazing, especially for students and people who come back here, and when you're doing theater in your life, and you come back, and it's like, no matter what I do, no matter what show I'm in, I always feel like it is rooted, in Viking drama, and that's where it starts, and it comes from you. And honestly, even the people that I do shows with, you know, Jenny, who's at Marquette and Graham, and when always before I take the stage, like that is, you always cross my mind because I honestly feel your dedication and your commitment to everyone and the students is just what everyone is striving for. And no matter what show anyone's in or what kind of thing you do, that's always what really holds it together, and that's the glue. And I feel so blessed that I was able to go through a program like that because I feel like I love the craft of theater as opposed to just someone being good at it. I really feel like I love it and I've learned it, and I owe that to you so much. I just want to say thank you.
Stephanie Glass.
Thank you. I was just remembering a time when we were all laying up on stage and we were supposed to be pretending to relax, and our hands, we couldn't feel our hands anymore, and we couldn't feel our legs anymore, and we're all sitting there and we're supposed to think of something that relaxes us in place, and we're sitting there dreaming, and I'm by an ocean, and Mr. Neal's silently talking, and all of a sudden I feel this spray on my face. I'm thinking, that's not my dream. And I start laughing because I'm like, oh, it's Mr. Neal. He's got saliva all over me. What are you laughing at, Stephanie? I'm like, you just sprayed saliva all over me. And everybody started laughing. Poor whole moon. But he did that several times sometimes whenever he spoke. But anyway. Bring it on, you're It was a great time. You are my favorite teacher. You always will be. The whole time during junior high, it meant so much to me. Met a lot of friends. The atmosphere was great. I will always remember you. I love you so much. Thank you for everything you gave me.
The infamous Riddack Girls.
Hi, Mr. Neal. So, I just went to visit Sarah in London, and our last night there was on Thursday, and we decided we wanted to see a show. And of course, you know, there's like a multitude of choices. But Sarah and I kind of really, without any hesitation, were like, oh, let's go see Les Mis. The musical. So we bought tickets, and we're there in the theater, and both of us are kind of like leaning forward the whole time. And we're looking at each other at certain points, and we're smiling, and we talk after the show, and we realize that most of the time we were thinking of you.
When we were in Viking, Mr. Neal invited a bunch of us to sit on the old Viking stage and watch the concert version of Les Mis. And we remember that and how passionately he talked about that show and about everything that show's about, ensemble, the greatest things about theater, forgiveness, and love. And 8 or 9 years later, we're in a completely different country, and that's all we can think about is you, because you stand for all those things, ensemble, and forgiveness, and love.
When we were asked to do this, of course we were thinking of a million things, but we realized that what was hard to do was to look back in time and think of a memory that meant the most to us, because you're so a part of our lives right now. And to us, what's more exciting for us is knowing that there are better memories to come, and that you'll be a part of our lives for a long, long time. So, thank you from the bottom of our heart. I love you. I love you. I will see you soon.
That was because Mr. Neal had called me an amateur actor in 8th grade. So, I just want you to know that those little things that made me cry when I was in 8th grade made me remember what to do when I was in high school. And I think that they'll stick with me the rest of my life. And so I just really thank you for all the times you made me cry and all the times you made me cry.
Near Jimbo's bedtime, so we're going to do about 2 or 3 more. So Annie, Calhoun will be
Or else
next.
just give everybody else a chance, they can leave, the rest of us will stay and I can listen to people talk about me all night. Let's keep the drinks coming, no problem.
This is really bad. But just to go along with Laura, Mark was so affected by that, and she told me that last year I was in a play, and I turned around as, in the royal family, and I knocked this, there's a whole tray of, like dinner glasses, and they were all glasses, about 5 of them broke on stage. And because she had told me what happened to her in 8th grade, I called our maid on.
Tell me that.
Slow down. And I would just say that probably one of the biggest things I learned really quick was, I think for Joseph, one time Mr. Neal said we could all come in with ideas for the set or whatever like that. And so I drew something, really cool, and I thought of something really neat, and I came in, and he's like, and I thought he'd be like, oh, that's really cool, and he was like, oh, that's nice. But if we can never carry it through and actually do it, what does it matter, And so I think that really stuck with me, just that you can have really good ideas, but if you don't carry them out and if you don't work hard and have that no regrets attitude, that it's not going to happen. But thank you for everything.
Mrs. Yates.
Still Mrs. Yates. Well, you hear all the stories from your students and what they gained and learned by you and through you. But as a parent and a co-worker on the sets and stuff, my first experience was with Peter Pan. And my daughter came up to me and she says, Mom, I signed you up for costume designing and help me. My idea of that was, oh, if something gets ripped, I'll mend it. But it ended up that I was making costumes. and after that, the next year, they asked me, the Studio 56 had just started, and the year after that, they says, oh, Donna, would you like to be co-president? Sure, there's 2 of us, I can do that. I've never been in drama. I had no clue what drama was, because I wasn't in school in that area. And with that, I learned a lot. Studio 56 came up. A month later, after saying, yes, I'll be a co-president, the real president had to leave. So by default, on many things, I became whatever. And with your help, Jim, and your inspiration and your encouragement of me, as a parent and just as a person and as an adult, meant so much to me. And you have given me the spirit and the love of drama that I never experienced when I was growing up. And all of these people here had that because of you. And what a joy you have given. And I just love you for that. And thanks so much for enriching my life. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We're going to wrap things up here. Mark Jeep is going to say a few words. But the invitation does stand. If anyone wants to stay and chat with him, that's fine. But here's Mr. Jeep.
Hi, I'm Mark Jeep. For those of you who don't know, that's husband of Sue, or father of Katie, Jenny, and Graham. I coincidentally also have to be the school board president because I didn't back up fast enough. Tonight is very much about a man who's touched all of us very deeply, a wonderful man, a friend of ours, loved by all of us, and who I think genuinely loves all of us and our kids. And that's great. It's also very much about 3 decades of students, some of whom have gone on to become professionals in the theater, very successful professionals in the theater. And even those who don't do theater have become more successful as adults, certainly because of the experience that they have with our dear friend Jim. But in some other ways, this is also, and let's not forget this, about a great program that was created by a man with the idea that it would be bigger than the man. It has to go on. And tonight is also very much about passing the torch to a student who learned well the lessons about what the performing arts mean in the development of the middle school student. each of us has a challenge. Because we know we are facing some dire financial crises in our school. We have some challenges to not just walk away tonight and say, Jim, thank you, God bless and good luck with what you do next. Because we are still here. While our kids may not be in that program, our neighbors' kids are. And we have a community, and we have to remember to pass this blessing on through Jason and whoever follows in Jason's shoes. Because the program is bigger than the man, as great as the man is. It's our challenge. Jim, I want to thank you for everything you've done for us, and I want to thank you for teaching us better about how to educate our children. And then it would be foolish not to also know tonight, this afternoon, tonight, sitting shoulder by shoulder, I hate to say, is a very large part of the heart and soul of our community's system of education. District 56, sitting shoulder by shoulder, are two men who are retiring and leaving us with a great void to fill. It's that community, we have to support who comes next, and be sure that these programs and the heart and soul is filled by others. Thank you very much.
So on behalf of Steve Heads everywhere, there you go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That's all we can say. Thank you.
The poets say that all who love are blind. Well, I'm in love, and I know what time it is. The good books say, go seek and ye shall find. Well, I have sought, and I know what a climb it is. My life is just like the weather, it changes with the hour. When he's near I'm fair and warmer. When he's gone I'm cloudy with showers. In emotion like the ocean, it's either sink or swim. When a woman loves a man like I love him, never treats me sweet and gentle the way he should. I've got it bad, and that ain't good. My poor heart is sentimental, not made of wood. I've got it bad.
don't love me like I love him. Lord, nobody could. I've got it bad, and that ain't good. I've got it so bad, so bad. The folks with good intentions tell me to save my tears. Oh, but I'm glad I'm mad about him. I can't live without him. Lord above me, make him love me the way that he should. I've got it bad, and that ain't good. Like a lonely weeping willow lost in the wood. The things I tell my pillow, no one should. I've got it bad, bad, so bad, and that ain't good.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not going to sing anything.
Maybe. Half an hour of Steve, no problem.
Okay, well then we'll all sing together. There's no greater feeling. I'm not starting this.
Marilyn, this is how they wheel the piano. Where's the piano?
So we should be singing right now.
There's no greater feeling in the world. Don't be shy. Than what we're feeling right now. A very special feeling that we share as we take this final